send the questions through. Remember that we're just going to be educating ourselves here on the show. I'm not sure Doc is going to be prescribing medications or anything for anybody here. And just so we will all be able to learn and know that if you're having any such conditions, you will have to start proceeding to the hospital to start taking care of yourself. I said this here. The men, they like to be macho. Yeah, we're not well, but okay, we are okay. I'm a man. A man doesn't go to the hospital often. A man has to be this. A man. That's why, yeah, some of you men, you don't take good care of yourself, and then you go and leave the woman behind. So this is to really encourage you that men's health matter. It's very important that you take very good care of your health. And that is why we are having this conversation, to inform you, to let you know that you can also have dire conditions. So whilst we wait for the messages and the phone calls to come through, Doc, the first message, the first person who reached out to me when they saw our artwork was like, Edem, can you ask the doctor about hernia in men for me? What is it that happens that can make a man have, that very big swelling around their scrotal area, have it so big, and sometimes it becomes infected, you have to undergo surgery and all that. He wants to understand how that happens, what they call in Chi Echo, understand how that happens, and then also find out. So the person's concern was that people who get that, are they productive? Can they,
Right.
are they, is this something that can affect your potency as a man, to be able to impregnate a woman and have a child? So I'd like us to start with that, and then we'll activate our phone lines on 0302 0302 216541, and our WhatsApp is 055 11 997. Doc, good morning. You're welcome once again.
Thank
First
you. Thank you
question.
very much indeed. So basically, when a hernia refers to the area of weakness along the abdominal wall where the intestines or any other content can protrude through. Now, the commonest, that's what I'm going to deal with, is what we call the inguinal hernia.
Okay.
And that is the one that descends along the groin towards the scrotum. And that's what is most common in men. Sometimes you may find it in women as well. Now, basically, this is what happens. The testicles are originally abdominal organs. And as a baby gets very close to term, it descends gradually through the groin into the scrotum. Now, where it passes, that passageway has to close.
Okay, after it descends,
After it descends, it has to close. Now, for some reason, if a child is born prematurely, then that means that the passageway is still open. There are some who will still have the weakness because of anything that would increase pressure within the abdomen. So heavy lifting, chronic cough, constipation, and then if you have to strain to urinate, all these things increase pressure within the abdomen.
Okay, and this is for the opening that hasn't closed.
So the opening can close, but anything that increases pressure can open it.
Okay.
Can open it, and any content in the abdomen. So the common content is small intestine. Can protrude through the opening and descend all the way, if it worsens, into the scrotum.
Which is not supposed to be.
It's an anomaly. Can descend all the way to the scrotum. Now, some people are able to manage it by reducing it themselves when that happens. It can be uncomfortable, but it gets to a point where it gets locked in the scrotum, and that becomes an emergency, and it has to be dealt with surgically. So basically, for most men or most young men, or people, even women, like I said, sometimes they may experience that. It's advised that whatever is increasing the pressure in your abdomen, you deal with it. If you have chronic constipation, if you have to lift, there's a technique of lifting such that the pressure in your abdomen doesn't increase. The weightlifters will tell you that there's a special technique so that you concentrate the pressure less in the abdomen. And if there is chronic cough, make sure you deal with it. Otherwise, before you realize something is bulging out, and before you could say Jack, it could end up in the scrotum, and that becomes an emergency. Now, as to the potency, whether it affects, fertility, I always say that when it comes to hernia surgeries, it should be done by somebody who is well initiated. It shouldn't be done by just anybody who has not gone through the mill. This is so because, you see, even though the intestines are what is descending into the scrotum, you will have vital structures, the sperm duct, which can inadvertently be tampered with, and it may affect the fertility potentials of whoever is involved. So the best thing is for these surgeries to be done by either a urologist or a general surgeon who has knowledge in dealing with such things. Yes.
There are, questions going on. A lot of things running through my head. So, you know that, even in our homes, because this is home affairs, once there's something a bit heavy to lift, you're calling the men to come and do it.
Yep.
Because they are strong.
Yep.
It means that could be putting a lot of pressure on them.
Exactly. So the advice that we usually give, if you have something which is heavy and they are in packages, just pick it one at a time. 2, if it is so heavy, don't try to, you see, there are certain things that you may need to do to protect yourself. So try and call somebody, call for help to help you lift a heavy object. And the best technique is not to bend to lift something, especially on the ground.
Okay.
You have to lift it straight up, just like a pregnant woman lifting something from the ground.
Okay.
Yes, you lift it with your back straight.
Sometimes you go on, so your knees can bend.
Can bend, yes.
Okay.
Yes. So that is a rule. Don't try to mature yourself. Protect, your waist, protect the vital structures around there so that you will not develop a hernia.
So if you have hernia and you haven't had surgery, does it also have, okay, so first question will be, what is it that makes it sometimes become so big?
Right. So hernias which are so big are, neglected hernias. So somebody might have developed it several years. They found a way around it. So when it happens, they can reduce it. And sometimes you're so amazed when they come to the hospital and you try to reduce it. They'll show you how they're able to, reduce it themselves. Sometimes because of fear, there are people who peddle, falsehood around that, hey, we have medication that can easily deal with this. So they go to those people and forgetting that these kind of conditions are treated surgically. So they move around just from buying medication from one place to the other. And sometimes to, poverty, financial constraints. Thankfully, these kind of surgeries are covered by, NHIS.
Okay.
So those big hernias are actually conditions of neglect.
And let me ask about symptoms.
Sure.
How would you know that you probably are suffering from hernia?
So the key thing is you having a bulge. Like I said, a hernia can form at any point of weakness along the abdominal wall, sometimes even in strange places like the diaphragm. But we are sticking to the common one, which is the inguinal hernia along the groin.
Yes.
The key thing is the groin, is the bulge.
Bulge where? Around your groin?
Along your groin.
Okay.
And it comes out slowly.
Okay.
Sometimes you may not notice it if you are well endowed with fat. Yes, but
I like how you said it.
So you may have the discomfort around the area because obviously something is trying to push through or gate crash, through that passage which is supposed to narrow.
Is it painful?
So the bulge, then the pain. But like I said, people learn to reduce it so they're able to tolerate the pain. Then as time goes on, it becomes bigger and more obvious. Worst case scenario, when it gets locked up in the scrotum, when it becomes irreducible, what happens is that you'll start having symptoms of constipation, vomiting, and your abdomen begins to make so much noise with abdominal pain. That becomes an emergency which has to be dealt with urgently. Otherwise, the intestines which are trapped in can go dead.
Can the hernia itself, without complications from surgery, cause infertility?
Not directly.
Okay.
If it is not operated on, like I said, I was talking about people who don't know how to do the surgeries and tamper with. But the hernia itself can interfere with vital functions. We've found situations where people's hernia is so grotesque, such that it buries the penis. Now, for regular sexual activity, obviously the penis is supposed to protrude out so that you can do the needful. But when it is buried or when it is interfering, an unwanted visitor, then it can interfere with your sexual activity and act as a deterrence. So that is how it can affect it indirectly.
Okay, so before we move on to the next questions, because I have questions pouring in, what will you advise men to do when it comes to the whole subject of hernia? What should they look out for, and what actions should they take?
So prevention is very critical.
Okay.
We spoke about reducing anything that would increase the pressure within the abdomen.
Okay.
When you're coughing so much, seek health care. Lifting technique, proper lifting technique is very, very important. If you have chronic constipation, get to a doctor to deal with it. And if you are straining to urinate, then you may want to deal with whatever problem there may be, either a stricture or a hernia. When you see a bulge, see the doctor at once so that the doctor will advise that, hey, this is something we can observe with time, or this is something that can be dealt with. And I think before it becomes complicated, that's the advice.
Okay. So there you have it. There's no need trying to be macho around it. Once you see a bulge, and Doc has said that time of neglect can cause it to be worse and give you more problems. And sometimes it gets infected badly, right? Or is the surgery?
So it is when the intestines get locked in, and then you see the once the intestines are trapped, its blood flow becomes impeded, and once blood flow to vital structures are affected, the structures which are trapped becomes dead. The word we use is gangrenous, and that can be that is a dire emergency.
Yeah.
That is where the infection sets in. And if there's no happy, or if there's no urgent intervention, it can even lead to death.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's not a joke like that.
Not at all.
Someone sends a message. Please, my twins have hernia. They're 8 years. I was told children don't undergo surgery unless local medications. I wonder, is there a doctor who says that you will have to give the children local medication? I've tried it several times, but it's been on and off. Please, are there any solutions?
So twins, so that means most likely they were born with it. Most likely they were born premature. But it is not true that children cannot be operated on. Even now, children within the womb are being operated on. So, right from birth, a child can be operated on. So, I think she met the wrong person. You should get to a qualified practitioner. Get a referral, get to Kolibu Pediatric Unit or any other of the big hospitals, and it will be sorted, both of the twins.
Great, Mommy. So please, that's the wrong information you have, and that is probably the reason why you're applying local medications up and down and it's not working. So seek a second opinion. Doc says that he says something very profound. Even, those that are in the womb, when necessary, are operated upon. How much more children who are 8 years? So please, let's get them to a proper hospital ASAP. And remember, Doc also said that if you have a quack treating your children or treating you for hernia, then you'll be heading for bigger problems. So make sure you're seeing the right person. Okay, I am 66. I urinate a maximum 4 times during the day, but 6 times at night. When night time, when is the last time? Okay, he's asking when should the last time, let me try and put this together. When is the last time? When is the best time to take liquids before bed? Okay. What time? And he says that he's not happy about the fact that he has to wake up about 6 times every night to urinate.
So obviously, this man has bothersome symptoms because when you sleep at night, you should only wake up at dawn to pee.
Yeah.
Waking up 6 times, you are disturbing your sleep. You wake up during the day very, very tired. So as to the last time you should take water, it varies from one individual to the other. For instance, I can take a bottle of water, sleep, I'll wake up at dawn. So you should know yourself. If you have to wake up severally to urinate, then at least drink water far away from bedtime. 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock. Don't drink so close to bedtime. But most importantly, there's a problem going on in here. Waking up severally at night, it's not good. You could be having an obstruction, something which is blocking the urine flow, or your bladder is not squeezing urine out very well, or a combination of these two. The common thing for the age 66 is most likely an enlarged prostate. So he has to be assessed and then the problem dealt with.
Okay. Could it also be, I mean, some doctors have said that when that is going on, it could also be signs of diabetes. Could it be?
Absolutely. So there are other, what we call differential diagnosis, other possibilities. Diabetes, urine infection, stone within the bladder. So what he needs is a thorough assessment. Yes.
So please, 66, I'm sure I could call you Daddy. Daddy, we still need you around. And so don't just stay at home and be unhappy about this. Have you gone to the hospital? What have they said? If you haven't done that, please go and let them have you checked. And then I'm sure once you go through your test, they will be able to tell you exactly what is wrong with you. And then I'm sure you can have some treatment. And this is what that's what this show is supposed to do. Give you heads up so that you take positive steps towards your health. So I'm pleading with you. Today is Saturday. If you could kindly go to the hospital, it will be a good one for us. Someone is asking, do urologists take care of only men?
No, we deal with women as well. We deal with women as well. And basically, let me explain. When we talk about the urological or the genitourinary system, we have the kidney, the ureters, the bladder, and then the urethra. So, and these are common to both sexes. So if a woman has a problem with the kidney, a stone, a tumor, a problem with the ureter, stone, sometimes tumor, sometimes what we call a stricture, a narrowing, a problem with the bladder, bladder tumor, bladder stone, recurrent urine infection, blood in the urine. All these things are common to both sexes. So we deal with women as well. And then sometimes too, if there is female sexual dysfunction, we liaise with the urogynecologist and then handle those as well. So it is not only a men's issue.
Okay, great. I think commonly we know that gynaes are to women as urologists are to men. But when necessary, you cross carpets.
Exactly.
Okay.
And now there are urogynecologists who are in between.
Exactly. Okay, so this one is wishing my daughter and I birthdays. Thank you very much. So birthday wishes to my daughter and I. But here's the question: can you ask Doc if there are any such specialist hospitals in Ghana that use laser technology to treat prostate cancers? Um, says, I'm a king. This is because my father is 80 years and had to fly all the way to Abuja, Nigeria to undergo that procedure. Because they had combed around Ghana and didn't find any. The procedure was done within an hour and he was up working the next day. It cost a fortune though, but he still wants to know if there are any specialists in Ghana that do laser surgery when it comes to prostate cancer.
So for prostate cancer or prostate disease for that matter, currently we don't have laser to deal with such conditions. Even though in Ghana we don't have. That is why the Urology and Nephrology Center of Excellence, I mean, it's a new place and we are building our capacity for the years. But we use laser for other conditions, stone disease, etc. But that is our next project. God willing, next year or next 2 years, it will be in the country.
Okay, great. And remember that this is Home Affairs. We do some of these things to ensure that you're well so that you can enjoy your family life. And so the purpose of having these conversations on Home Affairs is simply to arm you, to empower you, to know that if you're having serious health challenges, your family life will be impacted. And so as you're listening, you're thinking about your partner, not just yourself. If you're married, you're in a serious relationship, you have children, you're thinking about them as well. And that's the reason we will encourage you to take care of yourself. Don't be selfish. You have other people who love to have you around, who are happy because you're in their lives. And so would like you, daddies, brothers, uncles, to take very good care of yourselves. Edem, I had a radical nephrectomy. Nephrectomy, is that it? Nephrectomy, okay. Not too long ago, after the surgery, I started having some pains in my balls. I reported to my consultant, but he said it will go away. The pain has reduced after a few weeks. I want to know, has the pain reduced? The pain has reduced after a few weeks, but he still wants to know if he should be worried. Okay, so the doctor said the pain was going to go down, and it has gone down. Why are you worried, brother? Doc.
So radical nephrectomy actually is kidney cancer surgery. And it is, I don't think what is happening to him is related to the surgery.
Okay.
Yeah, it is quite remote. Most likely what I can think might have happened was, before these surgeries, a catheter is passed. And sometimes when a catheter is removed, catheters are foreign bodies and they can trap or gather infection, bacteria here and there. And this can track all the way to affect the testicles. And probably with the right antibiotics and painkillers, that's how come the pain has gone. So there's no cause for alarm.
Okay, so please relax and do as you have been told. You're going to be fine. But I still want to believe that if you're worried and you're restless about the situation, you can still go back and have a conversation with your doctor.
Exactly.
So that you can put your mind at rest.
At ease, yeah.
Okay, yeah. Good morning. I am 36 and I feel some sensation around my penis. I did a gonorrhea test and it came out positive. Oh dear. And I treated it last year. I repeated the test again this year. It came out negative. Yet I still have that sensation around the same area. It's not painful, but it makes me feel uncomfortable.
So most likely my 36-year-old man may be having what we call prostatitis or urethritis. Essentially what that means is the tube within the penis might have gotten inflamed, or the prostate has been set on fire. Something is irritating it. The prostate is one organ where, bacteria which enters. It is very difficult to treat situations where bacteria gets trapped in the prostate. So sometimes we give antibiotics longer than usual, even when the results come back negative. So you may need to see his urologist again. They will do a full evaluation and put him on the proper length of antibiotics.
Okay.
So it may not be necessarily the gonorrhea which is still there, but there's infection trapped within the prostate.
Okay. So please go back and let your doctor understand how exactly you feel. And you know, some of the doctors can be very dismissive. Well, you have done your test, everything is fine. But if you're still not sure, then insist that you also heard this on Home Affairs that it could be that there's an infection trapped somewhere. So you would like them to have it looked at again.
Exactly.
Or if you ask me, I am not a doctor, but I could tell you that probably you want to seek a second opinion.
Second opinion, yes.
Yes. If that doctor is not listening to you and you think that he or she is being dismissive, then you want to see another person who may be more accommodating and listening to you and following through with what you feel. So it's your health and it's you.
Absolutely.
And you want to take every control of it. So if you're not getting results with one doctor, please, by the grace of God, we have so many of them in this country. Please
Exactly.
see another one.
Yeah.
This one says, "Good morning, Edem and Doc. My husband wakes up frequently to pee because you see what I was saying there? It is your husband who is peeing, but you see how it's affecting the woman. Wakes up wakes up very frequently to pee because he likes taking in a lot of water, even after peeing throughout the night. But what I realize is his pee doesn't flow freely. It's like there's a break in the process. Please, can this be a sign of anything we need to be seeing a urologist about?"
Absolutely. Sometimes our husbands or
Before you go, let me clap for this woman, because it is like she probably follows him to the washroom, realizes how the pee flows, and realizes that no, there are breaks in this thing. Chale Oba, mitu chema awate. You're doing a good job, and that's what all women should do. And you see, I'm sure the man is dismissing it all,
Exactly.
but she's getting solutions. So, say to you, Doc, please go on.
And that's what I was about to drive to. Most of our men will dismiss this, and they may not see it as bothersome. But the woman can actually count the number of times or the frequency. And it is good she has observed that, the husband struggles. And that is one of the key questions we asked our men. Because sometimes you ask them, "Are you able to pee?" They'll tell you, "Yes,
No, it's okay.
I'm able to pee." Then the next question is, when you compare the urine stream to what, was happening 10 years ago, 20 years ago, has it slowed down? They said, yes, it has slowed down. So this is very good observation. This is very good work by the wife. This woman, this husband needs urgent attention. He's struggling to pee. And when you pee at night, you don't need to drink more water. Some people have the impression that anytime they pee, they are losing, water, so they'll need to replace it. You are affecting your sleep, and you don't need to take in more water. So this man needs attention. Most likely there's something wrong with the prostate, as the case may be.
Okay. So yes, it's a situation that you would need to see a urologist about. So I don't know how you're going to handle him, cajole him, bundle him, get people to carry him into the car. Don't mind me. But whichever way, you guys will have to see a doctor. I have a call. Hello. Oh, we lost the caller? Okay, so we'll handle that and get back. Someone says this one. He says, "Please, it isn't that we don't want to get the right medical advice, Edem. The torture of getting to the right medical specialist in the public health system can rather kill you. Our health system," okay, I won't go through that. "I had a very bad experience, or I have had very bad experiences that could put one totally off the public health system." Okay, but then they're still available. There are still very good health officials out there. You had one experience doesn't mean that you should put your health on hold. So please, don't give up on yourself because one person wasn't nice to you.
Mm.
Should we get to the call? Okay, all right. Doc, do you have anything to say to that?
Yeah, I mean, it is your health. I must admit that our public health system, it's not the best as it is, but gradually we are getting better. Like I stated, we have a new center in Kolebu. We are developing and increasing our capacity, and thankfully too, there are a lot of people, urologists in training, as it is, as compared to some few years back. So gradually things are getting better. And health is something that as a person you may need to invest in. So if you have a problem with the public health system, hey, some small money, see somebody, elsewhere.
Sometimes the small money is not there.
It's not there.
So the public health system, Doc, you are also in there. You people should keep having the conversations.
Yes.
So that people who come there, I mean, there are some doctors and other health workers who are very passionate about the things they do, even in the public health system, So we'll keep talking and keep pleading that every life matters. So
we'll get better.
Exactly. Now I have this one. Okay, before I go to that one. Okay, we lost that one too. Adam, I have a very serious problem and I need help badly. Okay, let me sit up for this one. I am not impotent, but I have weak erections, and because of that, I have not been able to be in any relationship with any woman for the past 10 years. But that is a really big problem. I've sought some help in the past, but hasn't worked favorably. I am almost 50 years and not married because of that. Oh dear. Being a urologist. Okay, so you being a urologist, I think that you can help me. So, Doc, this is being addressed to you. He wants to find out if he can get your number, or please try to get. Okay, all right, Kobe. Doc, you admit it's a serious problem, right?
Yes, it is. Most likely, he didn't see a urologist initially, because 50 years, there's so many things going through my mind. Is there a problem within his body? Is it psychological? So he may need attention so that we properly place it and give him help.
Yeah, and it's sad that you know this problem. Because of that, you haven't even been able to start a family, in as much as that's a desire you have.
And once you've been with one woman and it doesn't work, a second woman, it becomes like a psychological block.
Yeah.
He needs a lot of help.
Okay, so please, I'm sure we'll have a conversation with you after the show. Good morning, Edem. At times I feel a burning sensation around my scrotum, but whenever I touch it, I don't feel any pain. What could be the cause?
So this is typically, in our parlance, we call it referred pain. Let me explain. Sometimes there is some discomfort or there is some pain which are not, resident or primary to where the problem is. So the problem could be elsewhere, but you could be feeling it at another part of the body. And typically, an inflamed prostate can send, signals to areas around your genitals, even the inner aspects of your thigh, your lower abdomen. So it is a typical situation of what we call a referred pain or discomfort. The problem is elsewhere, but it's manifesting at the different parts of the body.
Okay, all right. Hello, good morning.
Good morning. My problem is, one day when I sleep, before I realize, I see that my penis is paining me. Don't mind my English, my grammatical mistakes. I beg. What happened is, before I want to urinate, I suffer a blood has come from my penis. I don't understand. Over 3 years now, I refuse to go to my wife because I feel that my penis It's no more, irritating. That is my problem. I don't know what caused it. I don't know whether which hospital I should go. So I want doctor to help me. Whether I don't know, but I'm 76.
Oh, okay. I was going to ask that. He's 76.
Okay.
And but you haven't been to any hospital yet, right? It doesn't look like. So he's 76, and from what I'm deducing, for the past 3 years, he whenever he urinates, he sees blood. He said he woke up one day and saw he was urinating and saw blood flowing through his penis, and it's been like that. So he hasn't even been able to have sexual relations with his wife. He doesn't know where to go, which doctor to see. So it means that for the past 3 years, this has been the problem, and he hasn't had any help, and he's wondering what his problem could be and what he should do.
So anytime we find patients report blood in their urine, we take it very seriously. I mean, it can be something flimsy, but the rule of thumb is that if you're elderly and you see blood in your urine, you will need a thorough assessment for us to rule out something, an abnormal growth. It could be the prostate which is giving those problems, but he will need thorough assessment. Sometimes with our men, anything that happens within the genitals, either passing blood, difficulty urinating, painful urination, can create a psychological block and affect the erection with them not necessarily having an erection problem, but because of that psychology, and that's what is preventing him. So he will need to seek a urologist, attention.
And I want to believe very fast too.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Blood in the urine is not something to joke with.
So, Daddy, 3 years without medical attention, it's lingered on for too long. So you want to go to the hospital like very fast. I'm sure that any hospital or clinic that's close to you is a good place to start. And if they need to refer you, they will refer you.
Absolutely.
So you need to move immediately. Hi, Doc. Good morning. I had some pains in my lower back and did 4 tests to see if they were kidney-related issues. They all came back, but they all came back negative. But I still feel them around my flanks. No pains, but lingerings. I recently did another kidney function test, and my creatinine level was 114.65. But I took my time for a week to drink a lot of water, and I stopped taking in high protein foods. But I still feel the lingerings. My doctor said I am fine, but I'm still having trouble with this. What should I do?
So pain on the flanks, the flanks or the side of the abdomen or getting to the back is where the kidneys, reside. And there could be different reasons for pain on the flanks. On top of my head, you could have stones in the kidney, you could have infection, you could have inflammation. So I don't know whether he's done a scan. Sometimes we start with an ultrasound and then progress all the way to do even a CT scan, because ultrasound doesn't give you so much details, and that may reveal whatever problem there may be. The creatinine value that he cited could be a mild elevation, which shows a mild kidney impairment. That's how come he's limiting his protein intake. But I think he will need further assessment, because he talks about tests, but I don't know the details of those tests that he did. He will need further assessment, especially the scans, so that we narrow down to what the problem may be.
Okay. So further assessment is required. And I said it earlier, Dr. Safoga, he says that he was going to divide his certificate and give me a part of it. And so, like I'm saying, I am not a doctor, but if you're still not happy with the answers your doctor is giving you, please see another doctor.
I think so.
And maybe another one.
Yeah.
You have 3 different opinions telling you the same thing. Then you can rest. Okay.
Absolutely.
So now it's beginning to look like you don't trust your doctor, and his words are not, sufficing. So you want to probably see another doctor.
Absolutely.
And then you can calm your mind. Madam, my problem is, I find it difficult to work. Oh wow. When I feel for sex, and I'm not getting the import of the message.
So,
do you understand it?
Yes, so he feels for sex. He has a desire to have sex. I mean, that desire needs to be fulfilled. It needs to be gratified. Yes, still there's no avenue, or he's not able to have sex. Sometimes either the wife is postponing or it's unavailable. So it creates a whole lot of tension, sometimes gives them blue balls, etc. Their minds are not able to focus. And it's a real issue. But sometimes he needs to play his cards very well, because if your significant other is unavailable because you need to have sex, then probably there's something you're not doing right to put her either in the mood or do the needful. So that's it.
Okay, I really didn't understand that question, so I'm happy you got the import of it and answered it. This one says that I urinate more during the night, AC room, or when in Europe during cold temperatures. However, things get okay when I'm back home, sleeping under normal Ghana weather. Is there any problem? I mean, Doc, could there be a reason? That's an interesting question. Could there be a reason why you're sleeping in a chilled room, or you're in cold weathers, you're peeing very often, but when you are, in a temperate zone, you're okay?
So generally, when the environmental temperatures are low, either the weather or AC, the body tries to self-regulate. What I mean by self-regulation is blood is moved away from organs like the skin, and they are diverted to vital structures. And when that happens, you are made to pee more than usual. Now, if he's in an AC environment, he can easily regulate the temperature, and that would help him to have less bothersome symptoms, and he'll be fine. Nonetheless, for his age, I think his prostate will still need to be assessed if he hasn't gone through a thorough assessment for that.
Okay. This, I'm sure this father is going through a lot. His son is 15 and still bedwetting.
So 15 years and bedwetting. So there are a lot of questions that we may need to ask, and we'll need a thorough assessment. For instance, the bedwetting, is it right from birth, or were there intervening periods of dryness? Is it during the day? Is it during the night? Does the boy have a lot of nightmares? Is it something that happens with the siblings? With the siblings, is he the first or he's the youngest? Because sometimes if it happens to the older siblings and they are teased by their younger, siblings, it can be a real psychological problem. What is the child's performance at school? Do they have what we call dyslexia, where they are not able to, conceptualize or have those kind of neurological, psychological problems? Do they have nightmares? Are there problems or stresses in their home? For instance, is the man married to another woman? And so this boy will need a thorough assessment. The test will look at simple things like even diabetes, because sometimes you can have diabetes in children. You can look at the urinary tract. Is there an abnormal connection somewhere which enables the child to leak urine. Is there a psychological problem such that this boy cannot wake up at night, to pee? And sometimes they need motivation. I remember back in the day when you pee, they will carry your mattress and everything on your head. You go around the whole area, and that in itself is like a deterrent. Now you cannot do that, obviously. So this child needs to be motivated to help him out of this problem, and then we'll need to seek the appropriate, health care.
Okay.
It can be solved.
Okay. And I know that when you have children going through some of these things, it can really be very traumatizing for even you, the parent.
Absolutely.
And sometimes out of frustration, you may end up, also meting out a lot of pain onto the child, like beating them, abusing them, and all that. If you haven't seen a doctor or to get advice, please do. Things like this, they get me quite emotional. I can imagine what the boy himself is going through
Absolutely.
at 15, and knowing that he wakes up, if he has younger siblings and they are not wetting their beds, then you can imagine what he is dealing with. So I'm happy you have brought it here, and Doc has said a number of things. Kindly take him to the hospital, let them assess him. Doc is saying it could be one of many things, or it could be a combination of other things. So please, let's see a doctor and let's have him checked, and I'm sure that he will be helped so that he can also live a very normal and a full life. I am very concerned.
In fact, it can even be quite traumatic if they have to leave the house to go to boarding house, or they have to go and sleep outside the home with a relative. I mean, it has to be dealt with.
This one really got me very, very sad. Yeah. Okay. Oh, he came back with some responses.
Okay.
Let me quickly grab it. He says that, oh dear, no, this is a different one. Okay. Nocturnal all through his life, very healthy. Older siblings had excellent urine control. So that's the response he gave, that his older siblings have all had very, excellent urine control. So could be a problem that he has, and we won't be able to deal with all of it here. It will be important that you take him to the hospital if you haven't done that, so that he is seen. Okay, I find this one.
Yeah.
My husband has a very strong smell from his urine, even when he's not taking any medications. What could it be?
So strong scent or offensive urine most invariably is indicative of a urinary tract infection. And once again, you can see a woman who is very, very observant. So it is something that needs to be assessed. A basic urine culture test will reveal whatever infection may be going on, and it can be dealt with. But most importantly, what could be causing this strong scent? Probably there's a block to the urine, the free flow of urine. Anytime urine stagnates, then it's just like you having slow flowing water within a gutter. It starts gathering scent, and most likely there's an infection that needs to be dealt with.
Okay. Yeah, so that's what I thought. So please, I don't know, have you sought any medical interventions? If you haven't, then please proceed to the hospital, ask questions, and if it's an infection, it is treated. Wife is happy, husband is happy, and then the home is happy. So please do that. Now this one also has this is from, okay, there was no name. My son, who is 9, pees intermittently, like every 2 to 5 minutes, and passes little urine at each time. What could the issue be? We have seen the doctor, but the outcome was that it could be psychological.
I'm sure the parent is very, very concerned. Peeing very often, 2 to 5 minutes, can be really stressful. Imagine the boy being in the classroom and then getting up every 5 minutes to go and pee. Can be very, very, very stressful. He will need a thorough assessment. On top of my head, is there infection in the urine? Is there a stone in the bladder? is there a blockade to the free flow of urine? Sometimes we have what we call posterior urethral valve, where there's a blockade, and these are things that they are born with, and that needs thorough assessments. Sometimes it can be innocent stuff like a child injuring himself down there and developing a narrowing within the urine pipe, what we call a stricture. And it can happen from simple things like riding a bicycle or falling awkwardly on your buttocks. So this child probably will need to see a urologist so that we thoroughly assess and get the right solutions.
All right. So we should be heading to the urologist for this one. And then I have another question here that says, I think he says that whenever he has an erection, it cools off really very quickly, and sometimes he gets really very quick ejaculation, so what could his problem be?
Well, so he didn't state his age, but generally, you see, erection is a concept or the activity involving three different systems, where the blood flows, the nerves, and then the hormones. And basically, if the erection is not so strong, or if the erection is weak, you may want to find out, is there anything wrong with any of these three systems, especially when you are a little older. For younger subjects, most often than not, it could be psychogenic or psychological. But invariably, we still run our assessments to cover these three different systems. And if there's something going wrong, for all you know, there's some diabetes somewhere, there's some cholesterol problem somewhere, there is some hormonal problem somewhere. It could even be the prostate. Sometimes the psychological, like normal environmental stresses, no money, too much work, inadequate sleep time, all these things
can... too much money.
Too much money is less stressful than no money. Money solves a lot of problems.
Oh, dear Lord.
So he will need an evaluation and will properly deal with the problem.
Doc, let me find out from you.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, from where you sit.
Yes.
Do you think that the health-seeking habits of men, has improved? Because I have a feeling that all these people, a few of them have gone to the hospital and they are still worried. But a lot of them, we have problems. I don't know what it is, and I'm just there.
When you compare it with some
years ago,
I think comparatively it's getting better. But sometimes people minimize or people are dismissive about some of these things. Still, they are pushed to the wall. And that is not good. Any little thing that you don't understand about your body. And I always say, I mean, you may need to have a doctor friend or somebody in the, in the health space, just like you having a policeman friend, a lawyer friend, a pastor friend. Somebody you can easily run to when these issues are there without necessarily going to queue at the hospital. It's very, very important so that they allay your anxieties.
Okay. Please, you people should go to the hospital. Seriously. Go to the hospital. You don't feel well. I mean, you see things that are quite unusual about yourself. You monitor it for a couple of days, then it goes into weeks, then it goes into months, then probably years, and it's not improving. It's causing you discomfort. You're probably going through pain. It's changed the quality of your lifestyle and everything. And until we do this on Home Affairs, you will not ask questions. You will not go to the hospital. You will not talk about it. I beg you people. Ow. Please go to the hospital for us. We beg you. But the joy of every parent is to see their children grow healthy and become more intelligent and physically fit. And to achieve this desire, every parent needs to ensure that their children are given nutritious foods that has the essential nutrients that can promote their well-being. And one of the best of such is a Vitamilk soy milk drink. Vitamilk is made from whole grain soybean, which is a good source of plant protein. It is enriched with omega-3, 6, and 9. It also has calcium and all the other essential nutrients needed for your daily living. It has no coloring, no artificial flavorings, and no preservatives. So we encourage you to choose the Vitamilk Champ for your children because the protein, the calcium, the omega-3, 6, and 9 in there have all proven to give your children all the essential nutrients they need for them to be able to grow healthier, smarter, and stronger every day. Vitamilk comes in its regular soy milk drink. You can also get it in the energy. That's the energy booster with no caffeine. You can have it in the choco, the banana, the strawberry. And it's usually packaged in the 1 liter or the 250 mils. Vitamilk is indeed a nutritious beverage that feels good anywhere, anytime. Now, let me tell you a bit about the Glyco Travel Insurance. Are you planning a trip abroad? Well, don't wait until you are stranded in a foreign country. Get covered with Glyco Travel Insurance before you fly. From medical emergencies and flight delays to lost luggage, Glyco has you covered every step of the way. Visit any Glyco Live branch or call 0555 305 547. Smart travel, travel protected. Glyco will cushion you for life. This August, Adansi Travels is turning up the excitement as part of its 12 years of delivering unforgettable travel experiences. Get ready to see more, feel more, and explore some of the world's most exciting destinations. From fun-filled family adventures in Dubai to romantic getaways in Asia, thrilling escapes with friends in South Africa, or that long-awaited dream trip across Europe. It's not just travel, it's an experience you'll never forget. Call Adansi on 0595 500817 or 0531 008550 or visit adansitravels.com to book your spot. Let's make memories together this August. Adansi at 12. See more, feel more. This is Home Affairs. We're live on Joy 99.7 FM, and I have been speaking with Dr. Bernard Tobo. I hope you're not just joining in. If you're just joining in, you are a little bit late. Oh, no, you are a lot late. You're a lot late, but hey, that's okay. We have the conversation on YouTube, also on Facebook, so you can catch it up. And it has been a lot of education. It's been our time with a urologist on our Men's Month. I thought that we're going to wrap up our Men's Month maybe today and continue some other time. However, like I mentioned to you, last week we brought you a playback of our conversation on men's mental health with, I think it was with Uncle Ebo and Doc. So what we are going to do is hopefully next week we will bring you a second part of that conversation. But this morning it's been our time with the urologist, and I have been having conversations with Dr. Bernard Tobo. He is a consultant urologist with the Urology and Nephrology Center of Excellence, Kolebu Teaching Hospital, and we've talked about a lot. Doc, we're back.
Yep.
Great. So there's one question here. Let me grab the question. Since I shouldn't mention his name. 22 and clear. Saturday. I shouldn't mention his name, so I'm not mentioning the name. Okay, I won't mention your name. In fact, you didn't even give me your name, so I can't mention. I am 69-year-old female. I have an umbilical hernia, which causes a lot of pain sometimes. I'm thinking of having it repaired. Can it be done with minimal invasion, like laparoscopy or general surgery? Which would it be?
So essentially, an umbilical hernia is a protrusion where the navel is, and I'm sure it's been there for a while, and it is something that the general surgeons can easily deal with. She doesn't need laparoscopy. It can be done sometimes under local anesthesia, but mostly under general anesthesia, and that hole, that defect, can easily be repaired with no qualms.
Okay, alright. So that's not too much of a challenge.
Not at all.
Okay. Let's see. There was a question. Okay, yeah, I got it. He says that, Edem, my husband gets an erection all night, but in the middle of the act, it softens, and he's no longer able to continue. What could be the problem?
So once again, when it comes to erectile function, there are three systems: the blood flow, the nerves, and the hormones. Most likely, usually when the erection softens, or is not as firm as it was before, it could be a veiled, indication that there is something going wrong with the cardiovascular, or where the blood flows. Sometimes it could be a heart condition which is yet to be revealed. It could be a problem with the blood vessels caused by hypertension, caused by diabetes, caused by cholesterol. So the husband needs a thorough assessment to look at some of these things and the numbers so that they are dealt with. Sometimes if it's the blood pressure which is high and you get appropriate treatment, it becomes stronger than usual. So the assessment, once again, is very important.
Once again, we march to the hospital. Okay. What are the causes of high creatinine levels in the blood? So he's 66. He's asking, how can it be treated? Will vegetables and plant-based diets be useful?
So with high creatinine levels, essentially he is talking about the kidney not functioning optimally as is expected. For a 66-year-old, you may want to ask yourself, is the problem within the kidney itself? Is the problem due to inadequate intake of fluids, which can cause the kidney not to function optimally? Or is there a blockade to the urine free flow, right from the level of the kidneys through the tubes all the way down the bladder to where the urine exits? So we'll need to situate it very well. Is it within the kidney? Is it because it's not taking inadequate fluids? Or is it because there's a blockade to the urine outflow? So he cannot prescribe just treatment for himself without going through the thorough assessment to find out what could be causing this kidney impairment. Because some of this medication, especially if it comes from unrecognized places, they can actually cause more harm than good. If you go just by the wayside and then take some of these unsolicited prescriptions, you may be causing more problems to the kidneys. So the thorough assessment, once again, we need to do a scan to see whether there's any blockade. We need to check your urine. We need to do some specialized, kidney tests so that you are well, we place it very well and give you the right treatment.
Okay, great. Thank you. I treated protein plus in the urine some 2 years ago. How do I prevent it from recurring?
There are several reasons why you may have protein in the urine. But one that would quickly want to rule out is kidney dysfunction or kidney impairment. The kidneys are like sieves, or they filter, waste, and which appears in the urine. And if there's something wrong with the sieve, if I put it that way, then you start seeing proteins within the urine, and he will need to be assessed to find out whether there's a kidney damage or there's a problem with the kidneys or not. Sometimes innocent things like recurrent urinary tract infection can cause this, but bottom line, we'll need to assess the kidneys to find out whether it is functioning optimally or not.
Okay, so you need assessment, but if he says he treated it, and from how he sounded, I have a feeling he's gone through the process, he's treated it, and he's fine, and he's wondering what should he do so it doesn't recur.
So I'm assuming that he has seen a nephrologist. A nephrologist is a kidney specialist. Usually what they do is that they'll give you guidelines. If your fluid intake is inadequate, they will advise you on that. If there is something you are taking, alternative health care, some herbal medications which are damaging your kidneys, if you are taking painkillers continuously or without prescription, that can damage your kidneys, or any other medication that can damage the kidneys. And then they will give you guidelines on how to, by avoiding some of these things, and then how to protect your kidneys going forward. So, and problems like diabetes, problems like hypertension, cholesterol, all these can affect the kidneys. So I think that he should still see his kidney specialist on a regular basis, so that you have a properly functioning kidney.
Okay, great. We will be touching down very soon. I have one message here that says that Edem, my son, is 20. It was detected that he had glucose-urea when he was about 8 years. I read that it may resolve as he grows, but recently we checked the sugar at home and it is still 4++. Can I be educated on that, please?
So glucose in the urine, so in the past or even now, our folks will tell you that if you pee and then the ants come to surround it, most likely you may be having diabetes. But current knowledge has helped us to understand that it is not wholly true. We have something we call the renal or kidney threshold. If I will break it down, there are some people who may take in sugary stuff without it appearing within the urine, and they may be diabetic. Others may not be diabetic, but sugar will appear in the urine. Bottom line, there are certain tests that are done to diagnose, diabetes, and they have to go through the whole meal: fasting sugar, glycated, what we call oral glucose tolerance test. All these things need to be done thoroughly. So she shouldn't, or he shouldn't, rely on only the dipstick or the home, made kit to diagnose diabetes or sugar in the urine, for that matter. A thorough assessment is needed for a proper diagnosis to be made.
All right, thank you. So you need thorough assessment, and what you have done at home, okay, gives you an idea, but doc is saying that it is not enough to make a diagnosis. So kindly head to the hospital. So tomorrow we have Praise Reloaded coming out. Get Get your dancing shoes and handkerchiefs ready for an unforgettable praise experience. Joe Metal Ministries presents its annual Praise Reloaded concert, dubbed the Festival of Gratitude. Praise Reloaded 2025 is going to be the most memorable edition yet. Ministering alongside Joe Metal will be Nathaniel Bassi from Nigeria, Intokozo Mbambo from South Africa, Akese Brimpong from Ghana, and a host of other anointed ministers. It's happening on Sunday, June 29. Venue is Elwak Stadium. Gates are open from 1 p.m. Event kicks off at 3 p.m. Rate is absolutely free. Simply register at joemetalmusic.com to secure your seats. For more information and updates, visit joemetalmusic.com or follow Joe Metal Ministries on social media. Don't miss out on the Praise Reloaded 2025 with Joe Metal. The Festival of Gratitude is going to be a powerful night of prayer, praise, and worship to remember. Sponsors: Silicon House Productions, Jobo, Green Line Juice and Smoothie, Big Ideas Consult, the Family Health Organization, Tank Palace Hotel, Joburg Ghana Limited, Africa World Airlines, iPay, ACE Protocol Services, Timeline Creative, Access Security, 360 Productions, Palms by Eagle, Craft Cut Productions, and Joe Metal Ministries. Media partners: Joy 99.7 FM. Remember, Praise Reloaded 2025 with Joe Metal is happening on Sunday, 29 June. At the Elwak Sports Stadium at 3 p.m. It's free, but you have to register at joemetalmusic.com. Spread the word, bring your friends and family, and let's lift a praise of gratitude unto the Lord. Powered by Reverb Studios. Once again, let me remind you that the joy of every parent is to see their children grow healthy and become more intelligent and physically fit. And to achieve this desire, every parent needs to ensure that their children are given nutritious foods that has all the essential nutrients that can promote their well-being. And we are talking about Vitamilk soy milk drink here. It is made from whole grain soybean. It has all the plant proteins you need, and it also has omega-3, 6, and 9. And all of these are recommended for the healthy daily living of your children. It has no colorings, no artificial flavorings, and no preservatives. So why don't you get the Vitamilk Champ for your children? Because the protein, calcium, omega-3, 6, and 9 in there have all proven to help your adorable children grow healthier, smarter, and stronger every day. It comes in the regular soy milk drink. You can have it in the energy booster with no caffeine, the choco, the banana, the strawberry. Also in the 250 mils and 1 liter Tetra Pak. That's how it's packaged. And it's indeed a nutritious beverage that feels good anywhere, anytime. Pentecost Hour is a religious broadcast program sponsored by the Church of Pentecost. Comes your way with the chairman of the Church of Pentecost, Apostle Eric Nyamiche, on Joy 997 FM at 1:30 p.m. on Sundays, Hits FM 5:30 a.m. on Mondays, Joy Prime 7 a.m. on Saturdays. So you want to tune in Sunday, Monday, Saturday as Apostle Nyamiche brings you life transforming truth that nourishes the soul, ignites passion, and restores hope in the nations. The Church of Pentecost, we're possessing the nations for the Lord. So, Doc, we're done. I want to take your final words before we finally wrap up.
Yes, thank you very much indeed. Like, there's a common thread that runs through all the discussions that we've had. Mm-hmm. There's the need for us to pay closer attention to our health. sometimes we are pushed to the wall before we appear at the hospital. I always say that when you have certain signals within your body, it needs to draw your attention to the fact that you have to pay, give attention to it and get the right medical care so that the problem is solved. The interesting thing is that there are most things, especially when it comes to the cancers, you may not have any symptoms at the early stage. And this is where I also advise that regular medical assessment. So every year, one of the things that you can give yourself, one important birthday gift you can offer yourself is to do your medicals, go through a thorough medical assessment. Now you may be, concerned about the finances, but hey, there are a lot of things that are covered by NHIS. The ones that are not covered by NHIS, you can look at the price and see whether you can save towards, running it, if you are not able to do it every year, at least every 2 years, run a thorough assessment and then get some consults so that you live longer.
Great.
In the years the Lord has ordained for you.
Amen. 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 I like the birthday gifts,
Yes.
So
you're going to do yours?
Yes. Oh, I did mine at the beginning of the year.
Oh, lovely.
Exactly. No, my doctor won't let me.
Sure.
Dr. Asafo, shout outs to you. Say he will drag you from wherever you are. So I like that bit. That for me will be the take home.
Sure.
You want to put some money aside so that on your birthday you give yourself a full medical treat. It's a good one. So please take care of your health, especially our men. Take care of your health. It's important. We need you. We need you. So take care of yourselves for us. That's how we are wrapping up on Home Affairs. Once again, thank you to all of you who reached out on my birthday. Demi Kelly Edem Knight-Tay, happy birthday to you once again, and to everybody who was born in June. I'm being biased. All the June borns, those who are coming up tomorrow. Oh, tomorrow, no, 30th is Mr. Kojo Apetu Esquire. It's your birthday on the 30th of June. Happy birthday to you in advance. And Weekend City Show is coming up next. We are out of here. Doc, thank you so much for spending your morning with us.
You're welcome.
We appreciate you.
Welcome.
Bye-bye.